Babyteeth is directed by Shannon Murphy and it stars Eliza Scanlen as a seriously ill teenager who falls in love with a small-town drug dealer. Yeah, actually this is the first time I shared this movie with people and just watched them together, and I'm glad I did. This is a brilliant movie. Go watch it. This is a must-watch movie. Go watch it right now. Yeah. I mean, maybe just me that I thought that this movie is brilliant. I don't know how everyone thinks, but still, I think it's brilliant. From what I like about this movie, first off, the acting. While Eliza Scanlen is just brilliant in the movie. I mean, I've seen her in Sharp Objects and Little Woman, but yeah, this is easily her best role yet. I mean, honestly, she just got an Oscar nomination. I don't know, can she? Because based on the movie I watched, this is one of the best female acting I've seen. Maybe even the best. Yeah, even the supporting characters are great. Toby Wallace, Eliza Davis, and Ben Mendelsohn are all great as a supporting cast. And for what I also like about this movie is the characters. The main character is seriously ill in both mentally and physically, and the entire time you just look at how she can deal with it. And if the character does not work or care about, the movie does not work. And luckily it did. The main character is relatable, you care about her, and she is pretty likable as well. And you actually feel for her in the entire movie. And even supporting cast is not just like, oh, I'm just here because I'm completely fine. I'm just gonna help this ill teenager deal with it. No, every single one has their own issues to deal with. Which I like how the four characters just like help each other to deal with their own issues. That is something I really like about this movie. And yeah, honestly, I'm so glad that this movie portrays like illness of both physical and mentally really great. If they did not portray it like realistically, or just like you actually think is actually good, the movie would just like, oh, what the fuck is happening? It doesn't make any sense, and it actually makes sense in here. I'm so glad it did. And if you want to see a bad example of how to not portray mental illness, watch 13 Reasons Why. And yeah, season 2 to 4. And also, I really like how the main character just developed from beginning to end. At first, she's like very innocent, which actually this is what Babyteeth is symbolizing. The innocence of the character. And after she met that drug dealer, she started to just like take a bit more control of her life and just at the end lost her innocence. And I don't want to spoil too much about the movie, but it's like great. Yeah. And I just slowly see her just losing her innocence and just like, wow. I mean, it's a really... And to be honest, it may not pull it off if it does not have good writing. I mean, honestly, the characters are keep having poor decisions one by one every single time. And honestly, the characters' decision makes sense even though they are poor. You understand why they are doing this. And from how the movie progresses, you actually cares about them and just like, don't do it. Instead of like, you're stupid. Just get rid of it. And this movie is so emotional from beginning to end. The first scene, you just care about the characters with the cinematography and direction alone. And from the last scene, the ending, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just like, no words can ever describe how I feel about that ending. I'm speechless. And yeah, and also something that I like is that movie can somehow, I mean, there's a stupid teenager who has mental illness and just blame everything on it, and there's a drug dealer. You're not supposed to like be likable, but the movie somehow make it work. They're likable, they are well written, and they have their own personal issues to deal with, instead of just like, oh, because I'm a drug dealer, I'm a bitch. No, they make them sympathetic and they make them like likable. Yeah, so glad it did. Yeah, for other things I like is like something I love editing. Like sometimes editing is just like, I just quick cut this scene and actually it did work. For me at least. and it just transitioned it pretty well. Even some of the music choices like kind of awkward sometimes, even though I do not feel out of place. It just feels good and real. And yeah, this is all I like about this movie. For anything to add it, honestly, yeah, actually there is something I've seen people talk about that they don't like about it. It's they drop plot points. For one, indie films drop plot point every single time. You mean if it's in Lady Bird or blue is the warmest color? Yeah, plot points. Bam. Drop. First off, they actually do not need to exist too long. They just need to be there for a while, just develop characters. And that's it. You just don't need to have them last too long. And honestly, if they last too long, I do not think they will work. Just saying. And yeah, and those are plot points like every character driving the plot points forward. So you can actually accept the fact that the plot points are dropping from it, and it's not like it's like something you need to deal with. This is like a realistic portrayal of illness. Just saying. I mean, I've seen people saying the same thing about Lady Bird, and I was like, no, this is just a realistic situation about real life, so they can. But those has a certain purpose to character development, and they did. So I'm glad. So yeah, I see no points of like expanding those plot points as they serve their own purpose already. So it's not an issue for me. So to be honest, there's no issue in this movie. Maybe there's some thing if you're an asshole, you can just nitpick them. But of course, there are some assholes. I don't know. Maybe some people have constructive criticism that did not think it's a mistake, I guess. But still, I think it's a wonderful movie that portrays mental and physical illness perfectly. And I just like how they just turn from one character to the end and just like give her a 180s flip until the end. And it's just so great. And it's just so rare that I've seen a lot of flawed characters who is also family like help each other to just deal with their own issues. And yeah, it's actually the best movie I've seen this year yet. In 2020 movies, at least. So yeah, this is a must-watch movie. In fact, I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10.